One of the things that happens when you study Fire and Blood, like you literally go to sleep listening to it, then you wake up listening to it, then you constantly reset it every couple of minutes because you missed something. You have these things called dragon dreams. I could also be part Targaryen, but in this video, I've done a lot the past 24 hours. I'm gonna discuss a trailer, what we'll see, what to expect. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do me a massive favor and consider checking out my Patreon over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews. If you decide that you want to kick me a couple of extra bucks a month, that'll be awesome. And it really helps to combat YouTube demonetizing all of my videos and giving me copyright strikes for really no reason. I don't do anything but try to entertain people on my channel. Long night in Zeldriza Spusdari, Ixos Daor. Long night. Okay, so we all know that HBO has to release House of the Dragon this year. The first month of the year is over. That means that the trailer is literally within 2 months max away. Here's the thing, if you cannot buy your time, if you find yourself going literally insane, well, just go and watch one of my many YouTube videos. As a matter of fact, the day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? I don't know, these days are all running together. My son's having this like 1-year-old sleep regression, so I'm getting like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. All that's besides the point. Recently, I've done like 2 hours worth of House of the Dragon content, but for this trailer, we know the show's going to be dark, visceral, exciting, unrelenting, right? The main thing that goes along with the dance of dragons is the death of dragons. So in this trailer, we're likely going to see 1 or maybe 2 different dragons flying at it. Now that's obviously going to be a misdirect, but with this show being known for the Targaryen civil war that brought out the death of the dragons, they're going to mislead us into thinking in the first season there's going to be dragons that fight each other. Now there might be, if they jump the timeline a bit, like that's the most exciting thing. I think it'll be interesting to see where they actually end the season at. Like the trailer is going to contain no more scenes than from the first maybe 2 episodes, right? So we knew George a month ago has already seen a rough cut of the first episode. That first episode is finished. That's what's going to be chunked up to make up the majority of the trailer. Usually they're about 2.5 to 3 minutes long. Expect dialogue, expect the main characters to be focused, but also some of the Targaryen children that we're excited for to be featured. I don't know if they're going to actually like have them listed with some of the other actors like they normally do in the description part of the trailer, but it'll be interesting nonetheless to see some of these Targaryen children on screen, because for the most part, they kind of carry the story, or they will at least, for several seasons, right? So Rhaenyra is sort of like tucked away, ruling, doing her own thing. Aegon 2 becomes incapacitated. And Aemon One Eye, Criston Cole, Prince Daemon, all of these people are like roaring and ripping through the 7 kingdoms, battling each other, backstabbing each other, betrayals, everything left and right. So it's going to be interesting to see where they end bringing all of this back together, right? Like I said, I'm just dreaming of dragons. This whole video has been one big tangled, blah, 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 blah. It's been a mess, right? But it'll be interesting to see where this first season ends. I think it's confirmed. I've had people send me information through the DMs over on Twitter. They told me that the first season ends with the black coronation and the green coronation. Like, when King Viserys dies, Alicent, the first thing she does is keep it on locks. Like, basically, a servant discovers that King Viserys has died while taking a nap, and he usually takes a cup of Hippocras at a certain time. That servant comes in, discovers his body's dead, and then immediately goes and tells Alicent. Alicent then locks that information down and calls a small council meeting. And most of the people are agreeing with her, but there's one in particular, like the accounts vary, but Lyman Beesbury basically stands up and says, I'll have no part of this. Rhaenyra is King Viserys' chosen heir. What you guys are doing, not exactly what he says, but he basically says, what you guys are doing is treason. I'll have no parts of this. That's when Criston Cole steps up and slits his throat. Now that's a key important part, because the first season with the younger version of Rhaenyra and the younger version of Alicent, one of the key parts to that story will be Criston Cole. right? So Criston Cole switches from the blacks to the greens, and something happens in between him and Rhaenyra that just drives a wedge in between them, right? So it ties into Daemon teaching her how to pleasure a man. Daemon gets exiled from the Seven Kingdoms because King Viserys discovers him in Rhaenyra's bed. So that probably ties into the reason why Criston Cole felt scorned and joins Alicent in the Greens. It's probably something like Criston Cole is the protector of Rhaenyra. Daemon shows up in the city, sneaks away with Rhaenyra, goes to the brothel. Criston Cole is in charge of taking care of her. He will then go out and discover them on the Street of Silk, and that is when the division between the two of them will arise. And then obviously we saw from the trailer that there's that infamous tourney scene where Criston Cole gets the better of Prince Daemon with the Morning Star. This show is going to be amazing. If you all enjoy this kind of content, please do me a massive favor and slap a like on this. My name's Mark, and this has been Zeldrizas Bustari Ixos Our Sir Hunt's Reviews. Long night. My Targaryen name, if I had one, would be Aegon, because that's amazing. But if I get to make up my own, well, Mark, Maegor, Aegon, Magor. That's already Meganior.